it 100.
Keep it 100.
So chase greatness and start understanding that he's going to make everybody better.
Tape never lies.
I don't want to see your tape breakdowns if you cannot show me things that are negative about a guy that's on your current team.
Hashtag chase greatness. Hashtag take that.
Keep it 100.
Because I'll make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, cut it. He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
The Chicago Bears select.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man in Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keep it in 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the fake and anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, feeling Shane got some haters. But now the mouth stuck like the Jew and now and laters. Debaters, draws get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane.
Give me some fucking names. Wait, 2 fucking games.
Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We laugh, we lie, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like trip sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
100.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, what is up? My name is Ivan Vargas, and you're watching Keeping It 100 on the best 4-letter network on the planet. The tape never lies. Been a couple weeks since the draft. We got the schedule on the horizon. But tonight, the boys are going to keep breaking down our draft picks and maybe get into a little bit of what the future holds for our Chicago Bears come.
Nope.
Maybe not.
Nope.
Maybe we won't.
Nope.
No pass rusher yet.
Nope.
Let's go ahead and before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Become a patron today, www.thetapeneverlies.com, and go get some swag at www.ttnlswagshop.com. I know Sean's been working hard on it. But let's go ahead and bring out the boys. Shane, the smartest man, Marcel, and DDP. Draft Dr. Phil. What's up, boys?
Yo.
Yeah. How many wrestlers can we get?
I wasn't prepared for the intro, and Ivan may or may not have scared the shit out of me with his yo. I wasn't fully prepared.
The only place that you can go for a yo.
Yeah.
It's just so slick and skinny in a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hassan Reddick, not a bear.
Hassan Reddick. No.
6'1". No.
Sacks the quarterback. No.
Gross.
I
Can
love
you
what
play corner?
Ill gross.
Oh goodness. So what do we think? We might have a surprise guest here in a little while.
Have you ever seen those?
And it's not Greg Braggs.
Have you ever seen those reels or videos, shorts, TikToks, whatever we're fucking calling them these days, where they go up to random people. Can you name this logo? And it's like the Seahawks, and they're like,
Yeah.
Seattle Falcons.
Now the best one was, remember when they did the schedule release? Was it the Titans? I think it was the Titans.
The Titans.
When they're having the drunk chicks on the streets of Nashville guess the names. Yeah, that was funny as hell. I have a feeling that this year it's widely expected that the LA Chargers social media team is going to victimize Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel. So that shit just keeps on getting crazier and crazier by the minute.
Now they're on a boat. She's pregnant.
Yeah, a couple of weeks before she fucking gave birth.
Mike.
She's on a fucking private boat with Vrabel alone all day.
But there was no PDA,
No.
according to sources.
Yeah.
Is anal PDA?
Oh,
Oh, are we live?
oh my God. Wasn't expecting that one tonight.
Solves a lot of problems.
Take that down, NFL.
Are we allowed to break down shitty analysts? Will the NFL take down our tape of
Why,
that?
you feel like giving out A++ grades?
A++ breakdown here, Ivan.
Oh yeah.
First time in the history, sorry, Adam Hogue, that I've ever seen an A+ given without a fucking single rep taken. It's just insanity to a level of that I've never seen before. And listen, you have to be the professional and handle that and stop being soft. You gotta be, that's your grade. Live with that grade. I also remember when you loved Kellen Mond.
Trading back up into the first round
For
for
Kellen
Kellen
Mond.
Mond.
Like, we still
Yikes.
love you, but not everybody's hitting 100 or batting 1,000, as they say in baseball.
Thank you.
But I'm very, very close, Ivan. Pretty close. Certainly not trying to trade up for Kellen Mond.
Oof.
But
I don't
will
know what
say this.
the desire with him for anybody was.
I didn't see it either.
They
Stiff
thought he was
legs.
Jordan Love. I guarantee you, they thought he was Jordan Love because
Well,
of the
that's
size,
another thing.
physical attribute, size, kind of the similar game. But
This is another showcase, and Peter Bukowski. No one is paying bills talking about you. We're looking at the stupidity that you are, and I remember just destroying you when you came on the show. So if you'd like to come back and debate Caleb versus Jordan breakup, then we could do that, because
What gets me with that, Phil, is that everybody that badmouths Caleb in terms of his career trajectory and everything like that, and they want to compare him to Jordan. Jordan Love is heading into what, year 6 or 7?
yes.
With
What
the
year was he
same-
drafted?
With the
Mr.
same with the
Producer
same head coach.
Ivan,
yeah, I got you.
what year was Jordan Love drafted? Then once you look up that, look up
2020.
26
What year-
pick, 2020 NFL draft. Sorry.
what year did he take his first snap?
Year
and
4.
Start
Yeah, year 4.
year 4. So this is 2020. What did you say? 2020, right?
2020.
Year 4, he took his first snap. Is Ivan frozen?
Well, technically, he took
He
his
is.
first.
Oh,
he
there
took
he is.
one snap. He took
No,
he took
I'm
a
talking
snap, but
starter
yeah.
snap. Like he's
Right.
starting. He's starting. You know,
actually year 2 or 3. Excuse me, 3. 2003. That's the year he started. 17 games.
so there you go. So 3 years. or really 4 because of how it goes, whatever it is. We'll just say 3 because there's going to be some ignoramus. What you fail to realize, Shane and Phil, here's the. This is not bias. This is just what I scouted. Jordan Love, I felt, was a first-round quarterback. I felt like he had potential coming out. And I didn't see elite. I didn't see elite footwork and escapability. I didn't see elite layering and anticipation throws. What I saw was a very good arm and a very good ball placement on deep ball. All right. And that's where he is still, right? I think some of his throws on fadeaways, I don't even know how he completes those throws half the time. So I'll give him credit. That's his like little superpower that he has. Like he'll be fading away, release it because he's fading, not even foot centered, and he'll complete a nice ball. But it's not a consistent thing because then the next 2 plays he throws an incompletion and a pick. So when I look at Caleb Williams, you see a elite level athlete. Number 1, elite level escapability, elite level layering of the ball, elite level throwing at different arm angles, elite level deep ball. And the reality of this continues to showcase his growth from year 1 through. And year 1 was dealing with, you know, a freaking abusive foster home that was Chicago, and Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles, who was soft as shit because he couldn't fire the coach and make the right decision. Let's not forget that. Everyone wants to fucking throw bouquets of A+ at Ryan Poles' feet right now. But the same problems you had going into the offseason and last season are the same problems you had with Chris Morgan, Shane Waldron, and Matt Eberflus. You don't have a pass rush and you don't have a left tackle. So it's still, and what you did do is get a coach that could do this. So now I look at the 2, back to Jordan Love, and Caleb has gotten him 3 out of 4, right? In the most elite level, almost beyond Broadway, we're talking blockbuster movie type of shit where you think there's no way he could beat that last throw. And then, you know, he does it again. So that isn't luck. I know Swifty said we aren't drafting him. We have video evidence of it. You're not a politician, Swifty, so I don't know what you're going to lie about next. So the reality is when we saw this guy, Caleb Williams, on tape, we knew it was the answer. So sorry, Kerry Franklin, I don't give Ryan Poles props for stepping to the podium and doing what every GM, including the Green Bay Packers, would do. Peter Pumpkin Eater, they would select Caleb Williams. There we go. I knew you'd come through.
What do you think I was working on over here? You gotta resize these,
I
but
could size those up.
Yeah,
like Caleb Williams does
to the Packers secondary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just is what it is. And I couldn't be happier that the rivalry is back. And
that's the best part.
The shit talk from Packers fans and from Bukowski, I just laugh at Peter now because he's legitimately the reason he's doing it and degrading this Chicago Bears team and the quarterback is because there's legitimate nervousness there. Now, Peter's
100%.
too much of a jackass to ever admit that. They've kicked our ass for decades. Yeah, I would do the same fucking thing. I hate everything about the Packers. I hate everything about Peter Bukowski's fandom and the way that he is on social media. He's a pretentious little bitch. Everybody knows that. But guess what? When you act that way, when you play fucking games, you win crazy fucking prizes. And you can be the bully all you fucking want because your teams beat the Bears. And the Bears punched back. Finally. They have a head coach. And if you want to say that Caleb Williams sucks, you're a fucking idiot. It's that simple. It's fine. You wouldn't be saying that if you had a green and yellow jersey on.
Oh, fuck. No, they wouldn't. They
So,
definitely wouldn't.
yeah.
The reality of that would be we got another Hall of Famer. And it's the first time ever that I could say the Chicago Bears have a fucking absolute top elite level quarterback talent. And you could put him wherever. I'll give him an A++ for his last season. But that's where you start. And the rivalry is exemplary because that's what you need in football. And I applaud a head coach. I'm still remembering some of these Packer fans huffing and puffing. How dare he say fuck them? Like, have you ever, maybe you own the team, but have you ever been in a fucking locker room? Like, what world? We're going to pretend we're offended now? That's the new thing. We got shit going down in this world. Everybody's cursing everywhere.
Right. It's like that jackass from ESPN Wisconsin that was, saying, oh, yeah, I think that him taking his shirt off and feeding the city, that was corny. That was dumb. And then, I think that Matt LaFleur is going to continue to dominate Ben Johnson. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Ben Johnson's like 6-1 against Matt LaFleur. Not just as Bears head coach, but I mean, what are you talking about? That's the shit that we deal with in the YouTube comments or wherever when people want to make shit up to try to prove us wrong. It doesn't fucking work that way.
Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Tell them.
It doesn't work that way. And if we're really being honest, they blocked a field goal.
Yeah.
Cheated, mind you. I know the NFL pussied out, but you're not allowed. Lucas Van Ness is coming down, pushing someone from behind as they destroy the long snapper and get another guy through a gap to block a field goal, which the Bears would have won that game. And then the other one was Caleb on the last play getting intercepted in the end zone from winning. So the competitiveness alone, you pretentious, blowhard, cheese grinning pieces of shit. You continue to fucking ignore the reality. I never said, oh, Green Bay, they suck. We're going to beat them. I just knew always it's going to be something in a rivalry game.
Right. Phil, we've been doing this a long time. How often did we ever take to the airwaves and say Aaron Rodgers is a horrible quarterback?
Never once.
No, because we weren't that fucking dumb. Did we hate him? Yes. I still to this day can't stand to even look at Aaron Rodgers, the discount double check. But why is that? Because he kicked our asses forever. That's why. That's why these fucking hillbillies, these fucking sheep herders, these pig fuckers, that's why they're all nervous now.
It's just so slick and skinny in a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him, Jose.
Cheese curds. That sounds like their toenails right now as they scrape across the ground in angst. The reality is, and I know I say that a lot, I'm trying not to say the reality is. I'm going to go the rest of the show without saying it.
Yes, sure.
I'm going to.
We start taking bets.
I'm self-scouting. No one's told me that.
Put the poll in there.
But now I set myself up for a lot of criticism because the fucking ditto scouts are coming out. But real talk, it's great to have that rivalry, and the quarterback rivalry, to me, it's not even fucking in the same ballpark. The difference between the two. Like, if I'm a defensive coordinator, who am I choosing to go up against if I had to pick? I'm choosing Love every time. And it's just the reality of that.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love, listen, is he better overall than I was expecting? I think yes. Okay. I don't think he's an all-timer the way that these Green Bay fans and Green Bay, analysts make him out to be. I don't feel that way. So you're in year 6. You haven't even won a fucking division yet.
Caleb has won the division. Caleb has won playoff game. Caleb beat you. So Peter, zip it, bro. The nerd herd that you're gathering of sheep, as Shane said, and pig fuckers are tuning you out now with your Homer stupidity. Because I will never go on a show. Oh, Jordan Love's track. Like, good quarterback. Professional quarterback. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, but
not better than Caleb, though.
I think the more negative that they are, the more worried they are. That's the way that I feel. I didn't say pig effers. I clearly said pig fuckers.
It's exactly what Shane says. You haven't seen this type of fear from and I call it fear because the reaction, the immediate reaction to anything good talked about the Bears, anything that's negative about them that might be real, they hide from it. So it's like they're scared. They just don't want to admit it. I'm about to drop off again. So
Phil's got more work to do.
We'll have to wait on that one. When Ivan gives us a heads up. Oh, not on.
Oh, which one did you do?
Mother of God.
Did you save it?
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Bottom third one from the right.
There you go. But yeah, that's what it is. And it's
you scared. They're just scared.
Yeah. Kevin said.
They're scared.
It is.
You're 100% right.
They know that the Bears are more than relevant. They know that the Bears.
You know who else knows that, Shane? The NFL.
Oh,
because we're leading into the fact that it's coming out. Mike Florio actually did a good job talking about this today. Yeah. Like, the NFL is sucking on the teat of what the freaking Bears fans like you guys in the chat in May, loving this football team, loving this game of football, you TTNL fans that live for and die for the truth of the tape, what you bring to the table is you're tuning in no matter what the fuck. Your cousin's wedding, you skip it. That's how loyal you are. I disown family that fucking decide to get married in football season. Like, you're not. What are you fucking doing? The reality is the Bears are going to be on 7 to 10 primetime games because they pull the audience and they also have a fucking superstar quarterback and coach. It's just the truth right now. And the excitement that you guys and all of us should have, even despite our questioning of the process, has never stopped us from believing in the team. I think people get completely freaking giant atomic wedgies over this shit, but they don't realize you have every right to question a process that has been flawed in regards to Ryan Poles and what he's done defensively. You can also question Dennis Allen's proportion tracking scouting, where he has limits to weight, size, and length that he passes over amazing football.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them limits. I would call them minimums that he prefers. Now, will he vary off a few pounds? Yes, but that's when other parameters are met. You're not going to see him go out and draft or sign or be a part of a 6'1", 240-pound pass rusher. He's just not going to do it. And if you want to compare him to a rookie camp tryout guy, bringing in a guy like a Hassan Reddick, yeah, those aren't comparable. The rookie camp tryout guy is exactly that. Does he have a chance? Absolutely. Is it much of a chance? No, it's not.
You always see it as a very limited chance. And there are some stories that guys,
Sure.
who is the corner? Got a rookie mini camp tryout. Bryce Callahan. Bryce Callahan out of Rice made the freaking team.
Yeah.
Or made training camp, then made the team.
That was wasn't he a Vic Fangio special?
I believe he was. Yeah, that was Vic when he was coaching. And then he ended up getting 2 contracts.
Yeah.
After that. I mean,
Just couldn't stay healthy.
there are those guys, which, by the way, by his size, wouldn't fit in what Mr. Dennis Allen does. I don't understand Dennis Allen or Ryan Poles. I don't get their process. If I was able to, if the Bears had some freaking brass balls, because we have told you time and time again how much they listen to the show. They know us. Shane's talking about being in Buffalo and the owner. The tape never lies is here.
I just hit the Ron G button and everything went neon.
I love it. I'm on the plane with the Bears, sitting in front of Jeff Joniak. Tom Sayers right there. Larry Mayer's big head is right 2 feet to the right, eating a big giant Chick-fil-A sandwich. I'm sitting there, and George McCaskey and Ted Phillips. I'm riding on a bus, a seat away from Ted. Trust me, I'm not going to come on here and lie to you. We are the underground voice of you fans for the Bears because they tune in, they listen, and I would like, Ryan, for you to come on the show and answer some fucking tough questions. Not some shit that Jeff Joniak got approved by you, but some real tough questions. Not shit we're nervous to ask. No holds. I'm not trying to understand your board. The draft is over. But I think the fans deserve some meat on the bone. There's no one defending you guys more than we can because we're showing it. Why did you improve? Well, you had a shitty offensive line coach a shitty OC, a shitty head coach, surrounding him with an immense, amazing young talent at quarterback, and you completely were negligible in it as the GM. You didn't have the balls to tell George, I don't care what we got to do. This guy can't be a head coach. Like, you didn't have those balls.
Right.
Say what you want about the Raiders. They don't get it right. They move on. Because guess what? Zebra don't change its stripes. All of a sudden, Matt Eberflus, or say Matt Nagy, I saw he got some interviews. He ain't going to be a good head coach. We saw it. I don't even know if he's a good OC.
Do you hear that, Phil?
I do.
I think there's some breaking news.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
That was
There he is.
Steph's cue to get under the desk and
Get under that desk again, Steph.
Sorry, I just got back from my boat trip with Diana. Anyway, hey, gents, what's going on?
Matthew Karstensen. It's been a little
It's
while.
been a long time. I shouldn't have left you.
Is that a dope beat to step to?
Look at you.
That's right. That's right.
Your nerd level went up and down. It's like the Grinch.
Doesn't take much. The bar is awfully low. So anytime I can raise it a little bit, I appreciate it.
Cars.
So far, we've gone all in on
Peter Bukowski.
Adam Hogue's post-draft A+ grade.
A plus. A plus plus.
Oh,
Did you
A-
guys send your check to Peter Bukowski? You know, for all the clicks,
Yeah.
likes, and subscribes that his stupid.
Yeah, he
stupidity
moves
gets
the
you?
meter so far. I mean, you know you're doing something right when fucking Packers players and fans hate you. Like they hate Peter Bukowski.
He moves the needle more for the Bears than he does for the
Yeah.
Packers. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know what to be proud of on that one for him, but here we are.
So, Cars, we went through our guys last week here that we brought in. I think initially, there was, and I will maintain to this, and I don't want to beat this same dead horse over and over again. The way that I explained it live on air when Hogue gave the mythical A++ was, had Greg Braggs done a live mock and picked those exact players, he would have been vilified live on air for it from the people in the chat and from Hogue and Johns and Carm and everybody. But
After a Steeneman,
Yeah.
like Steeneman would have been everybody's A+ at that point. But yeah, if anybody had you draft in a tight end and Xavier Thomas at the places you're not.
That's the thing. Had I told you that not only were they not going to draft the defensive end, they weren't even going to bring one in as a UDFA, just one on a rookie tryout basis. There's in no world would I have believed that. And that's, I mean, they've made their moves. They're rolling with who they're rolling with right now. Is there a move to be made later? Maybe. I don't see a Crosby deal happening.
No.
I don't see that at all. I mean, have stranger things happened? Yes, but they're going to battle with these guys that they got. But what was kind of like your thought process leading into draft night on, I think, Phil, you talked about it. I know I talked about it. I think everybody had the kid earmarked for Minnesota, but even beyond that, there was a lot of talk 48 hours before the draft that Minnesota wasn't even going to have a shot at him, potentially at 18.
There was talks he could go almost as close to after downs as possible,
Yeah.
right? Like it was top 15, which, Caleb Banks, I think, is going to be a really interesting one to watch because you're betting so high on ceiling and your lose is going to be on floor. Like
You trying to piss Ryan Cox off?
always. He's my favorite person to antagonize. But yeah, it's a weird draft. I think if to be honest, if you have Ho giving it an A++, that's no different than the tweet that Bukowski sent out yesterday about the Bears and upgrades versus downgrades.
Right.
Like you can understand the Roush pick from the sense of moving more to 13 personnel and things like that, but you're drafting basically a third string tight end over other positions of need. Yep. I think ironically, the last couple of years have been historically kind of bad for defensive ends outside of round 1. There haven't been a lot to hit, but that shouldn't necessarily prevent you from taking a swing, right? Like I threw up numbers. Dio is sadly like one of the better ones at getting to the quarterback of guys drafted in the second round since 2020. But Jesus, the rest of it is just kind of like
right. And I mean, Phil and I made this comment too, Cars, and I know you're obviously smart enough to understand this. It's not about, I think people fall into a trap of thinking that if you draft a guy in the second round and he doesn't come out and get you 14 or 15 sacks or potentially lead the league in sacks, it's not about that. It's more about the Seattle model or the Philly model where you're attacking in waves, where you're putting guys out there just with the potential to get to the quarterback. And it's kind of a mixed bag of talent. That's what I can't stand about DA and his minimums at defensive end. I don't understand the thought process there of not wanting to have, as much versatility as possible to attack from the defensive end position. It gives me serious pause about the longevity of Dennis Allen here in Chicago. If he's that strict about what his expectations are, from a physical standpoint.
I think it's a weird trend in the NFL where it used to be your offensive guys got more conservative and your defensive guys were more make things happen, and now it's reversed. I don't necessarily have a problem if they don't draft them if they're making other moves to go around it. It's kind of this weird vacuum of, we'll fill this in the draft, and then the draft comes and it's like, well, we didn't like anybody anyway. Well, you didn't like any, but you said in free agency, right? We'll see how we attack this in other ways. You can't sit down and be like, I don't like the free agents, so we'll go in the draft. Well, I didn't like the draft either. That's how you end up paying Dio for $18 million plus a year. I think what's going to be interesting, as much as I love Thieneman the player, I think if you go back in time and you can redraft at that point, do they look at an edge there differently with everybody else that slipped and fell? Was this a situation where the board, like Thieneman's going to be a great player. I really feel like we've got our Harrison Smith, which is not something, I remember Shane and Phil a couple years ago, there's a guy on here complaining that you draft Kyle Hamilton number 3 overall because of the type of player that he is and how impactful he is. It's been great. Hasn't really lived up to that.
He's a safety.
Yeah.
That was my point. And that's not taking away from the talent of Dylan Thieneman at all.
No.
But Phil's said it forever. And listen, yes, we have the benefit of hindsight now, but everybody there was lots of people that wanted McNeil Warren taken at 25, and he drop down to like 50 into the 50s.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys there that fell. I think it's gonna be interesting in a league. To your point,
we played games with Montez and Deo. They both were on the field together.
Yeah,
Dale.
Shamar, you might have no.
Mar-
even Shamar, they had
Mar
a few
got
of
a
them.
couple plays and a couple games of reps, but Shamar is a second round pick with a rod in his leg. Deo and Montez. Deo was the high price free agent signing, 18 mil a year, as Carr said. To do what? So stop making up excuses for Ryan Poles and his ability to assess this position correctly. Now, if it's
What did he say that they didn't play any games together?
they
Yeah.
played 0 games with Montez.
Dio played 8 games.
I know, Shane. That's why I'm
Yeah.
calling it out. You can't throw. That's what we call Peter Bukowskiing. You can't just
now
throw
he
it
just
out there
changed
like
it. It's Booker Sweat. That sort of thing doesn't matter.
you.
I mean,
can't change what you write unless you're
Shim-
Swifty. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Shamar is an edge rusher. Yeah, just because they go look up
Oh
what
my
they
God.
drafted him as.
D
Jerry.
tackle.
They
You're
drafted him at
believing
defensive
too much
tackle.
in this shit. That all of a sudden, what are the odds, Cars? I'll ask you. That Shamar Turner and Deo come back off injury and play lights out. What would you put a percentage odds on that?
Oh, neither of those. If you get a combined 8 sacks out of those two, that's your home run. Combined, not an individual.
And would you grade that as failure, pass, or indifferent, unfinished?
No, the book. This whole season as a defensive line, all sadly lies on the shoulder of Montez Sweat and Booker. Right, like that's really where we sit now.
Mm-hmm.
And if Booker doesn't take the next step, I do think it's interesting that for a lot of these guys, Booker was 7 months older than several of these guys, so he's still young, still developing. But if he doesn't become by himself an 8+ sack kind of guy, it's an even outside of that, and I should pull back. Even if he becomes an 8 sack, it's still a failure because you haven't done enough to add more pieces around. You haven't done enough to make these other positions, like maybe you go get a Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but you know what? He's probably better as a pass rusher than anybody else.
Right.
But if you get lucky on Austin Booker, that you don't get an A+ because you got lucky. It's a failure. It's a failure to really focus on.
Listen,
the defensive line.
we
Thank
have
you.
we have to believe
Totally agree.
we have to believe in Ryan Poles, who went out and signed DeMarcus Walker to play defensive end, but was better at defensive tackle. We have to believe Ryan Poles, who drafted Shamar Turner to play defensive tackle, but they put him out at defensive end. We have to believe Ryan Poles, who drafted Jervon Dexter, who was looking for him to be good at something, where they were giving him reps on the outside,
Shane,
so that they
we
could
should
find
trust-
something.
We should trust Ryan Poles like we trust that person who's been divorced 5 times and is going,
Yeah.
no, this is the one. All right. I was wrong every other time. This is the one. That's the level of trust we have to have.
Andy has his wedding during football season
Yeah.
on
On
top of it.
On Packers Sunday, right? They gave me a play Packers game. And he's
I
like,
think-
look, we'll have the game at the reception. I don't understand.
I
what the
think Carr
problem
should
is.
look at his phone right now to see what he just got from Ryan Cox.
I found this draft just in a vacuum fascinating. One of my favorite drafts was Kansas City because they looked at it the exact opposite way and they went, man, we got chewed up front. I don't know necessarily that these guys are going to be it, but it's a great pairing to have with Chris Jones. Like let's go build that. So many of these other teams, like I can't figure out what San Francisco's doing. I don't really know what Green Bay was doing. I'm not really sure what Minnesota, like there were so many weird analytical kind of crazy types. I just feels like all these GMs got massively stoned and then we're like, I don't know, let's just figure it out as we go along.
Right, and putting all of your, I just saw you put up the Austin Booker, and I like Austin Booker too. And listen, he could break out, but banking everything on Austin Booker is Jerry Angelo era Chicago Bears. Oh, we're not going to do it. We have this guy here,
Right.
You know,
remember Olin telling the story, like, bro, you got to help me out. Oh, we're going to help you.
Oh, we're going to help you. We're just going to sign Peppers first. And hey, how's Frank Omeo? Yeah. How's that?
But, you know, the one thing I wanted to say, though, is most of these guys in their rookie year from a second round or later, and guys who basically didn't try to murder their wives or girlfriends like James Pierce, right? Most of these guys, especially in the second round, you're talking about 2.5 or 3 sacks. When I talk about from 2021 or 2020 on, the second most quarterback hits of anybody is Dio behind AJ from Buffalo, Espinoza, right? Like, it's
and
been.
He's still available, right?
Yeah, I would make a move on him. I know he didn't pass the physical in Cleveland, but
but that again, I think with these guys now, I think it comes down to fit and money on their end, and they're going to want to see. You're not going to see a lot of moves made now because
Reader signed
these right? Yeah,
DJ Reader.
What did the money end up being on that?
2 years,
2-year, $12 or $15 million deal, but 12 guaranteed in the first year. So it wasn't.
You're gonna see the Bears look at some of these young guys that they didn't bring in, some of these rookie tryout guys, and see how they are. See, where they are with is Dio even expected on the field at any point?
Shane, you forget Dio's very motivated.
Yeah, motivated Dio.
Very motivated.
I forgot about that.
He's in full on beast mode. He wasn't motivated before, but now he's motivated.
But good football teams look at Austin Booker and are like, great, that's to me a surplus. He's not going to prevent us from adding talent there at any point, and that's the thing too. And I know Gary Ross, Adam Hogue was praising Gary Ross for saying, the Bears defensive line is a sunk cost already, so they didn't want to expound upon that.
That is the biggest.
Stop with that. You have
I didn't hear that.
$0 in dead money. 0. You could have ate money on one guy if you brought somebody in or if you had to. I think that's so short-sighted. And Cars, better than anybody with the cap. The Bears eating money on one guy isn't going to affect shit.
At this point, all those guys are done after next year. So
Exactly.
are you gonna wait? Are we gonna sit there and wait till that point? You're wasting another year of cost-controlled Caleb Williams. So,
totally agree.
It's such a weird place to be. I think we're the only team in the league that's building from the back forward. You probably have a top 5 defensive backfield. We probably have a bottom 5, defensive line.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
If you talk football and say something as dumb as Shane's quoting, you should probably stop talking football, because that's like saying we're going to build a brand new house in Tennessee by a lake. It's going to have 8 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. We're going to start building it. And now we're building it. And the foundation's fucking cracked. No,
you're
just going to keep building this house.
You want to know what the better analogy is, Phil? The better analogy is talking about high top chairs in your new stadium that you haven't even fucking broke ground on yet.
Still don't have a location decided on.
No location.
Don't forget it. You're at 2 years ago now that you were talking about high top chairs in luxury suites on HBO Hard Knocks.
Hold on. We're going to build this house and then pour the foundation.
No,
That's
you're gonna
the opposite of what
you're
do.
gonna pour the fucking foundation, but you might not even be building in that state.
No, there
but
is no
I'm
foundation.
talking about the
You're
roster.
You're putting the roster basically dead in the ground, and you're saying there is no foundation.
Yeah.
It's basically like building a pole barn without anything.
I honestly would have taken Cassius Howell based on how it fell. I had a higher grade on Howell than Thieneman. That's my truth. Now we'll see how it plays out. He went to the Bengals, and don't give me your not cars or anybody because you're smarter than that. But you guys comment. I don't care where a player gets picked. It doesn't say what his level is. That's how I graded it. And
guess who else doesn't care about that? The fucking Bears. That's why you take Xavier Thomas in round 3.
You're right.
Phil, I think the one that we will always go back in time, as much as we love the player, is Rome Odunze. That is the one place that you had three different players, and Jared Verse,
Olu Fashanu.
Yeah,
those were the two guys and Brock Bowers.
And the defensive end, I know he was injured. That's now at Indy as well, right? But you had
Tutu.
Yeah,
Tui.
Liatu.
Yeah,
Liatu. Thank you. But Jared Verse, if you go back again, that is the one I'm more concerned with.
And he went 19th.
Yes. Yeah. And what did they do in that one? They went Fiske the next pick, right?
Yeah. Braden
they
Fiske,
doubled down. We've talked, Shane, you've done a good job of saying, we've had holes. Holes has doubled down here. He's doubled down there. He's doubled down here. He has never, he has.
On the interior.
Except it was Javon Dexter and Zach Pickens, right? That was where he doubled down. Yeah. It's a miss. I get the classes haven't been ideal, especially once you start getting out of the first round. But there's been players available, and you've been too happy and too content to stay kind of on the sideline and let it all come to you.
Yeah, and like I said, where's your confidence level? I'll Phil bounce out. Where's your confidence level that they're even going to do it next year, Cars? You know what I mean? When you
can have one, there's if you have one, you're just sort of lying to yourself, because the history has kind of shown that as much as we all know we should, we won't.
Yeah.
Not that we won't, but we most likely will not. And you're going to be going that into more of a deficit, because Montez Sweat will probably be, ready to be released at that point, because he's not going to be worth the dollar value. So you're either going to extend him at a lower contract value and try to fill something else, but he's now sort of in that potentially declining player mode, and he wasn't an elite pass rusher to begin with.
Right. Yeah. I hear you, but the pass rush thing is what it is at this point. We've, bashed it into the ground. We thought we were going to go there last year. They did not. We thought they were going to go there this year for sure. They did not. And it is what it is. So if you're looking, we talked about Thieneman. What's your thoughts, Logan Jones at 57 with the Bears? I know Phil had him down as his number one center overall. What were your thoughts on that with Bradbury?
He's an upgrade over Bradbury. I mean, you no matter what, you always have to go back and make that Bradbury deal just in case for depth. I don't have any problems with that, but it shouldn't have been a position that stops you from him. But look, any corn-fed Midwestern offensive lineman with a receding hairline, you're basically, who's as strong as he is, he's like deadlifting 700 pounds, they were saying, and really intelligent, understands the game, understands the fundamentals, is tough. This isn't James Daniels, not so tough. This is one of those players. I feel like, again, that's a player that you're gonna run with for the next decade plus. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. It's one of those I don't love, but the way the draft was going, Slaughter went a couple picks after him, if I remember correctly, or relatively quickly after.
Well, yeah, I mean, you heard Eric DaCosta from the Baltimore Ravens come out, and it's pretty rare, and I love the openness. He specifically named the two top centers on his board.
Yeah.
In Logan Jones and Slaughter were the two centers that they were looking at and really hoping to take in round 3. And he's like, they both went earlier than we were thinking. Now he's like, knowing that now, would we have moved around and tried to have maybe come up? Maybe we would have. But it's just, Phil, you can talk about it here. Cars are just talking about Logan Jones and the center position. You broke down Bradbury, and we're going to be having Logan Jones. I mean, you did the pre-draft breakdown, but we're going to go more in depth.
Post-draft.
Yeah, the post-draft breakdown, but
which you're going to give him an A plus at this
yes,
point, right?
Throwing
Yeah,
that third plus.
I did give him.
Oh, it's a great pick.
Future All-Pro is what I said during the pre-draft. That's before he was drafted, for those of you who don't know. Like, we don't do post snob. So,
but
post snob.
Phil, just speak on what you see with Logan Jones over Bradbury and Logan Jones and Bradbury versus Drew Dahlman.
Well, I thought Bradbury was a better center than Dahlman. I thought Dahlman had more athleticism, like twitchiness, but consistency was the rule of the day, not only with the shotgun snap, but his ability to make the block, stay with it, get to the second level, where I felt like Dahlman, I know Shane pointed out in the playoffs a lot of the errors and everything like that, but the reality was throughout the whole season there was mishaps here and there where you weren't like, one play looks outstanding, and then 2 plays later he looks like the worst center like we've had before. So there was a consistency issue there that you would think, well, another year in this he'll improve, but I thought Bradbury had consistency. And when I look at Logan Jones on tape, what I saw was everything that those two lack, he has.
Yeah.
And he has this desire of destruction. Like, he has an attitude. I wouldn't say he's like a cheap shot guy, but he's certainly a let you know I'm fucking here guy. And I felt that way when I scouted Linderbaum, and it wasn't a coincidence that they both went to Iowa. I think Iowa just really does a great job coaching offensive linemen.
Former defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Former defensive linemen that are like, you're nasty enough that you could play center for it.
You want a great NFL draft nugget concerning Iowa? 48 consecutive NFL drafts, a player from Iowa has been drafted. 48.
It's amazing. It's sad and amazing at the same time because they never get over this hurdle in the playoffs. And that's a whole nother story we could talk about here in a couple of weeks as we push in the off season about the head coach, because I think he's a great head coach. I just think he has a terrible time recruiting the biggest and most important position, and that's quarterback. But those things aside, every one of their offensive linemen was drafted, all 5.
Yeah.
Which I think is another record. But when I look at Logan Jones, I thought he was the best of the bunch, clearly, and I think that he is a future All-Pro. I said that in the breakdown. I felt like he's dominant. He's able to get to the second level with shoulders square consistently. I mean, getting to a 3 technique and being able to scoop him, which means turn your ass all the way around and control him to the inside when someone's running outside zone or you're running some sort of trap or pull, this guy could do everything. And his snaps are pristine. I don't know if you could find a bad snap on tape. And that is great because a lot of centers now in college don't snap under center.
No.
They're just gun all the time. Where in Iowa, there's a lot of under center stuff, running power, pin and pull, trap, counter plays, all of it. So that's another advantage. They also run a lot of what Rochar and Ben run. Iowa runs, the Bears run a lot of what Iowa runs downhill and getting those gaps and crease and get inside there. So that's another advantage. So when you get this kind of talent and he has consistency at the position and he's very athletic and strong and he has that violence to him, I wouldn't say he's a mean Olin type. Like he's gonna
There's not many that are wired like Olin where I will.
But he is violent, Cars.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
he's violent.
He'll win in a phone booth, whereas as Dahlman and Bradbury need to get out of that. You know, they're going to beat you more with athleticism. To your point, their strength is if they can get to the second level, they move well and they can do well. And
they're going to figure out how to use the phone booth to their advantage. Where this guy's just gonna,
this kid's gonna be pushing to start. I mean, it's a level
starting.
I'm gonna be disappointed if he's not.
Can you imagine him and
like right out the gate? It's gonna be noticeable how fucking quick he is. I mean, I was laughing on tape. All you have to do is become a patron right there next to Cars, the tapeneverlies.com, and you could go watch that pre-draft breakdown of the center, Logan Jones, who I drafted in every mock draft because of what I saw on tape and the need that I felt like the Bears have had for too long. Remember the quarterback need, there was a center need, there was a safety need for like 2004 through whatever, and then you finally got it. There seems to be those long, and then you all know about the quarterback need. So finally, I believe you got a real diamond in regards to Logan Jones, and I'm going to break him down probably tomorrow. So that should be out either tomorrow night or Friday, and you'll be able to see why I am so high on this guy. Not on 4 plays. We're going to watch the entire district of Iowa games so you could see the whole process of why this guy is their second round pick. And I believe Rochar and company, Richard, me and Big Steve can't say his name correct. Rochar fought on the table for him. So did Ben. You just see it. And when you're running those plays and you're trying to get those guards and allow them to trap on the backside, you got to have this kind of center that's able to do that stuff. And he can. And that's just going to help Monungai and Swift and whoever else is at running back. I'm hoping it's going to be, I liked what we saw in Britton Brown. I hope he's a part of that over Mr. Roshan Johnson. I know he's a pillar.
Coming back.
I saw him out there, and what did they have? OTAs? Is that what that was?
I just want to put this up there because I wish we had a dumb comment of the night.
Yeah, we complained about it until they actually invested and fixed it. Weird how that's tough.
Trying to get one over on us, but what we were complaining about once they fucking fixed it, we had 11 wins. So we were fucking right. I mean, in what realm other than Chicago for the past 30 years do you not build in the trenches?
You I mean, proving the point for us.
Right.
Like, I don't
I love y'all, but
y'all
used to complain about the offensive line until they got good and they won 11 games. Now you're doing the same with the because it's a fucking issue.
We were 29th against the run last year. We were bottom 5 in quarterback sacks. Imagine what those 11 wins would have been like if we had either of those two. Imagine what would have happened in that Rams game if we could stop the run and get to the quarterback. Our offense won us a lot of games, which is a weird thing for us to say. How many times have we been on, we grew up in we won a game against Arizona without scoring a single fucking offensive point, right? Like that we won that as a game. That's been our life. And now that the offense is there, we're just not settling for being mediocre on one side of the ball. I'd like to be really good on both sides of the ball. I would like to go win a Super Bowl.
A lot of fans that are smart are saying the same thing. I think our track record, and I appreciate your love, but you gotta freaking, when you are going out to church, tuck in the shirt, tighten up the belt, and look the part, because what you just did was drop the ball, because you just skipped over the fact that we were complaining for years because it sucked, thus their record.
Exactly.
And the cliche of it all starts up front is a cliche for a reason, because it's the truth. Now, if they did the same thing with the defensive line that they did with the offensive line, there wouldn't be any kind of conversations to have. There'd be I can't wait to see this football team, and I still can't wait, but 29th in pressures? You're not getting the same 31st in pressures.
And 29th against the rush.
29th against the rush, yet you're standing there wanting to be happy time. What was that fucking show with all those yellow, green, those little characters?
Bill, the only reason our defensive line wasn't good was because they were injured. That's the only reason.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
okay. Yeah.
You guys, when Kansas City won their Super Bowls, why did they win? Their offensive line was dominant, and they went Frank Clark and Chris Jones on the defensive line. When you won at Philadelphia, what did they have? They had a top 5 offensive line and a top 5 defensive line.
Right. And this is where Jerry, I know you're on your fucking rampage and here saying we don't know who an all-time great offensive line coach is because Phil was trying to figure out the correct pronunciation. So whatever, that doesn't even, who gives a fuck? But
thank you, Rabbit. That's what I wanted to know.
But saying that we would be saying the same thing if Tooney and Jonah were hurt, there is nobody on the Bears defensive line even remotely in the same stratosphere as Joe Tooney. There's nobody. Montez Sweat is average, and he's paid like a top flight defensive end. That's who he is. It's the same thing. Do we have a Jonah Jackson? I mean, is that who Montez Sweat is?
Yes.
Jonah Jackson?
Yes.
So it's just
there's no Tooney on the D line.
Oh my God!
Well, you guys,
there's no Tooney there.
Well, I think that Shane, the argument to that you're making is we wouldn't be complaining about it because they fucking did something and tried something. I don't know if anybody's ever watched The Simpsons, but there's like one of my favorite quotes, which was, "Dude, we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas." They haven't made the investments. They haven't tried. You forgive them if they made the move for Tooney and for Jonah and it didn't work. But the point is, we applauded them for finally making the moves that they had to, that they finally identified after the 2000s of being one of the worst offensive, always going off the scrap heap. And when you can get a Reuben Brown and he plays well for a year, you look good. And then when he's 39 the next year and he falls apart, you look terrible. But guess what? That's the path that we're taking here on the defensive line. Except instead of Reuben Brown at this point, it's Grady Jarrett. Instead of, this person, it's Montez Sweat. I like Montez, but at no point, he's one of the 10 people who got 2 double-digit sacks last year. Do you think anybody specifically game planned around we have to stop Montez Sweat from getting to the quarterback?
Jerry, he's going into he's been with the Bears for 3 years. He signed his contract 3 years ago. They're not upgrading his contract every fucking year. I know more about it than you do, Jerry.
What do you mean
Holy
we don't know
shit.
what these people are making? Their contracts are all public.
Right, but he's saying that Montez Sweat isn't making elite level money because he's making $25 million a year. Right now, he's 14th in the NFL. What was he when he signed the fucking contract?
Yep.
Yes, shit
Jerry
changes
has-
all the fucking time.
Harry has shown his ignorance in understanding everything. He's a fan. I get it, Jerry. But
It's
you're not an expert. Like,
settling.
you're here at
and
this
neither am I.
show.
But I'm just saying,
Well,
settling
yeah, you
for
are.
whatever, settling
Yeah,
for what
you are.
Ryan Poles has done, and just saying, oh, the only reason they weren't good is because they were injured is fucking fallacy.
I had a guy
What is
tell
it-
me that you don't know. Shamar Turner is going to show everybody that he's a true edge anyway. And I go, I don't know. 100% I don't know. Because he's coming off a fucking injury. He was drafted to play defensive tackle. I broke his tape down prior to the draft, then post-draft again, and thought that he was a violent guy. But you got to worry about this injury. And what happened? He got injured. This is the story of Poles. It's been
Right,
that
and
way.
Now Jerry's asking what Nick Benito is making.
Hey, I'll take this, please.
Yeah,
Let
go
me.
ahead. Knock
So
it out of
first
the park,
off,
'cause I
Nick
know where
Benito
you're
was
going.
drafted in the second round,
Second round.
64th overall. So he has continued to develop as a second round pick. Guess why he's cheap right now? Because they fucking drafted him.
Yeah.
Guess what he just signed?
Ding,
He
ding,
signed
ding,
a
ding, ding.
4-year, $100-something million contract, a 4-year, $106 million contract that kicks in next year. His average salary is $28 million a year. So yeah, you draft. If you draft and you hit, they're
Not
cheap.
Ryan
What-
Poles.
One of the comments in there, I put it up. You draft DNs, so you're not paying for average ones. You draft that taking a shot to get a good one. Now, I'm on the record. I would have traded up, Cars. I would have traded a second round this year and a third next year to get up and get Bain. I felt like he was what you missed in Verse and a little bit better pass rusher. He's got that same kind of violence and better bend, better motor. And they're both about the same kind of power. All I am going to tell you is that's what I would have done if I had been the GM. It would have taken whatever. You guys would have negotiated better a deal at 13 or 14 to get up there. Because when it was happening, we're covering it live for how many hours, Shane?
No. Just forever. As close
Forever.
as- Yes.
And I'm like, you need to move up for Bain now. That's what a real GM does. And the reality is I'm waiting now for a trade because I don't think you can go into the season with this shit show as your defensive ends. I just don't. I am okay. I think Neville Gallimore is going to be a nice surprise watching his tape and watching his motor and energy. I think a lot of people will fall in love with this guy. He might earn another deal. The other guys are fabric players, James Lynch, Street, and I thought Grady was playing better near the end.
At the end, but that's the thing. That's the thing, and that's what you're never going to go out there and you're not even going to get 8 games of dominant Grady Jarrett. That's not who he is anymore. It's going to be in a handful of games. So he's, effective at the end of the year when you need him. That's who it is. That it was a grotesque overpay because your locker room was toxic. That's
And
why.
right
I
now-
gotta address this one real quick. Then
Well-
Cars.
Go ahead.
We're giving you a voice. We're the one people. Any other fucking shows passing you by. all of you, when you come in with some bullshit or great point, we put it in, interact with you live. Go block the channel because you're soft as puppy shit.
Something tells me that we'll survive just fine without Jerry.
No, I'm pointing this out for other people. Just
But
it's
Phil,
about buy. Oh, yes, 100. Buy Felicia to him. But the reality is, who's giving you guys a voice? This is what this is about. It's a discussion based on truth. Go ahead, Cars. I'm sorry.
no, you're right, but Shamar Turner was never a pass rusher. Even in college. Like, you want to, again, if you want to go back to Nick Benito, look at his college stats and how he put up double-digit sack seasons and was considered an edge rusher. He's an off the ball, he's an OLB in that use case. Look at 2022 when he was drafted. Look what was on the Denver Broncos staff. Look at every player that they had, and they still made that investment. Why did they make that investment? Because they understand it. Look what that team did. They took the corpse of Bo Nix and a really shitty offense all the way to the AFC Championship game because they built a defensive line that would maul people, that would hurt people, and would carry that along. And we're sitting there going, well, Shamar Turner was, he was moved inside because Cassius Howell was big. That's fine. Shamar has never been a plus pass rusher. He's been a good high motor, high energy, like kind of a guy that you definitely want if he's healthy as part of a rotation, sure, but he's not going to be a game changer. He wasn't drafted to be a game changer. So this whole idea of like, oh, we're gonna overwhelm them with mediocrity on the pass rush, and no one's gonna be ready for that. That's how you lose. That's how you lose to LA. LA doesn't settle. Kansas City doesn't settle. All these other teams don't settle, and we're sitting there going, well, it's okay that we settled because we don't
need defensive ends, guys. They're just injured. And I was just looking back at Jerry's channel activity
Between
where he was
Jerry and
screaming.
Might be the two dumbest.
Gabe Akis was right there and we got sniped. He was right there and he got sniped. But we don't need defensive ends, guys.
Look, they're celebrating each other as I point out. Maybe the two worst football acumens in the chat. I gotta be honest.
Why is he still here if he was blocking us? I don't get that.
Hey, remember Lil Caterpillar? He's back. And the reality, I don't even know where your mind is Madden. That's where your mind is. Like, let's look at Ron. Let me give you names, Cars, and you give a grade. And I'll mess up the names probably.
That's
look
what we
at the
do.
defensive tackles that Mr. Ryan Poles has either signed or drafted. Okay. The one guy now has bounced around the league. Zach Pickens.
Yeah, he's on his third team as of yesterday. The Giants.
Right. The Giants just picked him up.
And what was the concern with him always? Did he love football?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Was
first
he
pick in round 3.
Was he strong? His body looked frumpy, we said. Doesn't dominate the point of attack, had some twitch, but doesn't play with hands and power. Seems to get pushed around a lot. Kind of questioned how high he was picked. What round was he picked in, Shane? Third?
First pick, third round.
First pick in the third round.
First pick in the third round.
Yeah.
What would the letter grade be?
Oh, that's an F.
That's an F. A failure, Lil Caterpillar.
If the guy's not in the league, and he won't be, after this point in time, no way is that anything worse than a failure.
Lil Caterpillar gives it an A when it was drafted. That's the kind of shit you do. That's the problem. Let's look at Jervon Dexter. We questioned his get off, questioned his football acumen, questioned how high he stood up.
Yep.
Questioned his desire and motor, questioned his ability to find the football post contact. Has any of that improved? there was like a 3-game stretch where I'm like, okay, and then it just fucking disappeared.
He's still a flash guy, right? Like he still teases you with like you'll see a couple plays like there it is.
Yes.
No, there it's gone.
Does he get another contract?
Yeah, because
You
mostly
believe he
because
is? No,
yeah, because
with
yeah,
us.
because
Wow.
well, Phil, we've done nothing else to the position, so by attrition alone, he's going to get another contract. Yeah, I mean he's a C.
I say no way. Can you pay this guy?
Who are you talking about?
Javon Dexter.
Oh, you
see
think-
him getting another contract?
I don't see him getting a deal here. Maybe like maybe if it's anything, it's a
He's
1 year
like
thing.
Brisker going out,
Yeah,
and he's thinking he's gonna get this big deal. Now maybe he does.
I don't
you
think
need to
it's big, but I
need
think
to
he's getting a dick. I think he'll be here.
I think you need to see motivated Jervon in a contract year here, because I mean, listen, if he could turn the fucking on switch on, where's that? Is it? This is the story of Jervon Dexter in one image, and it was the same thing in college. Go back to our draft coverage, the same year.
Same fucking.
We talked about it.
Jordan Love has the ball in his hand, Lil Caterpillar. He plays like Lil Caterpillar. He's still crawling.
It's not just this image. It's over and over and over again. And finally, when he does get off the ball or get off at the snap, he'll stand straight up.
Straight up, bro.
And loses any type of leverage.
I honestly question the Bears defensive line coach. I don't see these D tackles playing the way they should. Has he made a tackle in the backfield where he penetrated? We're watching Lee Hunter on tape at 345 pounds do things that Jervon Dexter should be doing and has never done. Now, we'll see what Lee does. But like looking at Lee Hunter, I'm like, this kid's way better than Dexter coming out of the draft. And Ryan Poles he sees these D linemen in a way that I just don't understand. I don't know what he sees in Deo. I don't know what. I'm putting money that the Bears are trading for a defensive end in June. That is going to happen.
Cam Jordan is probably going to be a free agent signing. That's going to be my guess.
So just one move, you don't think?
I think you see Cam Jordan sign in August.
Yeah, he's going to avoid most of camp.
Yeah.
Sure.
I hope not. I hope he signs in June, July, and gets in here.
Yeah, I just think
I'd be surprised he doesn't make a trade. That's what he does.
He should. I think we've now seen, again, the reason that you talk about Kayvon is physically he fits a profile. You know, like when you look at everything that DA's teams did, from the Marcus Davenports to those type of players, he's got a profile that he wants at edge. It's going to be his undoing if it doesn't work, and it wouldn't shock me if at some point in time, you know, they move on from him if there's limitations based on this, right? And I'm not saying that's a case, but like look at what Spags has done in Kansas City and how he sort of reinvented his defense. He plays aggressively. They've looked at things differently. He is self-scouted and made changes to the way he calls a defense. I don't see that right now with Dennis. I still like Dennis, but for me to love him, he's going to have to change a heck of a lot of these play calls this year.
Yeah, I'm not ignoring your comments. Make whatever the fuck your name is. Defend Jervon all you want, man. It's fucking fine. I put up a still image of one fucking play, and you're telling me that he was the one that got pressure on that play? Great. How many years has he played here? He's played 3 years. Great. What's he done? What has he done?
Was that not the last snap of the Packer game?
No, that wasn't.
No. That one wasn't.
Okay.
That was not.
that image. No. But
No.
great. So he got a pressure. It's over and over and over again. I can show you
But isn't that also
hundreds
the problem,
of
Shane?
snaps with Jervon Dexter from Florida and
Yes.
Chicago.
We did
He's done
show
it.
him. You could go into the tape never lies back.
Don't ignore my comments. Great.
Jervon Dexter. Just look, Florida tape broke him down to a T. What would I say? I wouldn't draft this guy in the second round. They drafted him in the second round. I'm
But Phil-
drafting this in the third or fourth round on size and potential.
Phil and Shane, though, isn't the whole point? If he can't get off quickly and he's the one that gets the pressure, doesn't that tell you how bad this defensive
Yes.
line is?
But that's
Like,
The
what do we?
argument.
that's where guys like that trying to have their gotcha moment, they aren't
He's
smart enough to
making that
figure
shit
that out.
up. He didn't get pressure on that.
Well, even if he did, I don't care. The problem is if
Your
he's
point
the
is
one
true.
that does,
Still. Yes, your point
the
is
problem
still
is the line sucks.
this asshole Jerry.
It's not
he
about
wants
one fucking.
He wants. What's the solution? I've given you solutions. I said trade up for Bain, draft Cassius Howell, not a fucking safety. Who's the safety then for the Bears? I could have drafted Bud Clark. I could have
Yes.
drafted Halty. I could have drafted my guy from Toledo. I could have gotten all those motherfuckers, bro. So there's your solution. Safety. Now, if I'm not against Thieneman, he's my number 2 safety. The reality, I put a higher priority under a laughable. I'll just say this, talking to 5 former Chicago Bear players that
Did you
went
guys lose
to
your
Super
audio?
Bowl.
I'm hearing everything. Did anybody else in the chat lose their audio?
I talked to 5 defensive players that have played in the Super Bowl for your Chicago Bears. Not a single one of them has ever been. I asked it like this. Have you ever been in a room at any level of football where your coach or anybody in football hierarchy gets in front of the team and says, what we got to do is cover longer so we could get to the quarterback? In the history of the fucking world, it's never been stated like that as a plan. Yet, Ryan Poles stood in front of you, Jerry, fucking Jerry, and gave you that answer. Ask him for the answer. That's what I would ask him. Ryan. Nope.
The answer is
Nope.
in Jerry's world. Status quo. It's fine.
But guys,
Ryan Pohl. I already know who Jerry is without ever even meeting the fucking guy.
I think the way that I look at this though is, remember when Baltimore's Ravens defenses were really good. Baltimore's defense had Suggs and other guys creating pressure. Over the last handful of years, what have they done? They prioritized an off-the-ball linebacker in Roquan and a safety in Kyle Hamilton. How has the defense performed? Has it performed at the same level? No. Has it been dominant? No. They've missed.
Right.
They've missed. Teams, when you go from build from the line back to go from let's build from corner and safety to line, those teams don't do very well unless you have a stud like, Bosa in San Francisco. And we saw what happened to them last year when he was injured and they couldn't get to the quarterback and they got 20 sacks on the season. Unless you have a true stud pass rusher, those one-of-one type of guys. That is a Micah Parsons. That is a Bosa. That is,
Khalil Mack.
it's Khalil Mack in his prime, right? There are all of these guys. It's the problem. And you look at what happened in free agency. What did Jalen Phillips get paid? That's ridiculous. What did Odafe get paid?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
100%.
all
And
these
that's
guys
why
got
you draft them.
yes, they all got paid,
'Cause-
and none of them have lived up to that number to begin with.
We did something that no one else did, and I sent it to Cap. Me and Shane took hours to do this because AI would fuck up names and shit too, even as great as it is. But every team has drafted an edge in the top 4 rounds, little caterpillar. In 2000, from 2022, when Ryan Poles got his first shot at the draft, to now, except 2, and that's the Commanders and your Chicago Bears. They've not swung the fucking bat in the top 4 rounds. Now you could look at all these names: Buffalo, Landon Jackson, TJ Parker, Shamar Stewart, and Cassius Howell this year in Cincy. There's more. There's more that you could put on there. We're not going to keep going, but Jared Verse, Byron Young, Felix Uzoma. In round 1 in 2023, George Karlaftis, those same Chiefs that won Super Bowls and have a quarterback, George Karlaftis in 2022, they come back again in 2023 and take another one. Then they take us to round 2.
R. Mason Thomas. Yeah, this year.
Look
This
at
year.
Pittsburgh, right? They had Alex Highsmith. It still didn't prevent them from drafting Herbig the next year. And
Jack
Highsmith is a Montez Sweat type of player, a good, solid guy, but not the end all be all. It didn't stop these other teams from trying to improve. The Bears are like, we're good enough.
We're good enough.
The
And you
Giants drafted an edge rusher and are making him a middle linebacker for fuck's sake. And we're sitting here talking about we've got Shamar.
When they
Turner.
have Sonny Styles right there, who's the better player, in my opinion.
So since the Bears, you guys have heard me say this, since the Bears drafted Austin Booker in 2024, in round 5, they gave up a future 4 to come up into round 5 to take him. Since then, 82 edge rushers have been drafted into the NFL. 82. 0 of them to Chicago. And I understand you're not going to hit on every one of them. You're not even swinging the fucking bat. You're overpaying for less than average. You gave Dio $48 million. It's lunacy.
It's lunacy.
But he's just got to get healthy.
And you got to remember, right? This offseason, Will Henderson signed for 3 years, 150.
Yeah.
Jalen Phillips, 4 for 120. Tavon Walker, 4 for 110. Grenard, 4 for 98. Quiddy Pay Bullets got 3 years and $48 million. Like
Quiddy Pay.
Danielle Hunter, $40 million for 1 year. All of these guys, none of them are really good. Not at all. Once you get outside of those top 8, they're getting paid. You now are in a position where 6 sacks in the NFL is a plus. Give that guy $20 million a year in the contract. It is that level. It is like being a somewhat decent quarterback, and that's how you get paid like Tua, right? That's what defensive end is now. It's just as bad as quarterback.
It's
just
up to the dumbest thing.
2021, Quiddy Pay had 4 sacks, then 6 sacks, then 8.5, then 8, then 4. He got $48 million. Dios had 17.5 in his career and signed for 48 mil.
Do you know who is better at getting to the quarterback? The guy we had at him before, Taylor. Darrell Taylor has gotten 24.5 sacks in his career, and that's with him getting 0 last year.
We would have drafted Jack Sawyer, Dan. That's what we were screaming about when the Bears came up to pick.
But this is the problem. People are going to look at that and say, he didn't have 15 sacks and assume that he sucks.
No, he's on a team with more talent up front, so he's a rotational piece for them. Where would he be with us right now? That's a
He's the
great
fourth,
question. Yeah,
right? He's
exactly.
the fourth. He's behind Watt, Highsmith, and Herbig.
Yes.
And they had all of those guys and still drafted one
Yeah.
in the 4th round.
Now we're
Weird.
talking about 4th round and up. These are picks that are going to be competing, if not starting, in this day and age. And it's very, very, very much going to be Lil Caterpillar and Jerry the fucking flip-flop mouse during the season complaining about the fucking pass rush. That's the reality of unfortunate. I said it again. But that is the truth there. It's unfortunate. That's why I think it's going to have to come in a trade. You're going to have, I mean, there were guys sitting on people's practice squads that might be better than what we had last year. And yet it wasn't signed. There was no swings at the plate. We can't understand it. That's the situation there. You
Phil,
talk about the end of the road.
Do you want to address this just so he knows?
Because a pass rush matters. Because you're sitting there fighting that it doesn't matter. With Shane.
He's saying that he never said he. It's because I think it was because of from the chat.
It was you with Rodney in the chat saying
that Rodney was getting blasted unjustly when we spent 48 straight hours in the chat, and Rodney was just going against literally. It didn't matter what anybody said. So I think when Phil saw your rebuttal saying that you thought it was bullshit that people were calling out Rodney and that we were calling out Rodney for a difference of opinion, I don't think there was any malice involved in it. But that's what it was for. But that's the thing. It's everything, and I'm not saying you, Axe, man. I'm talking about Rodney and the guys tonight. It's just such a everybody wants to have their gotcha moment, and Dio's gonna be great. Austin Booker's gonna come out and have 15 sacks this year, and everything's gonna be fine.
Art, what have the Bears invested in the defensive line?
Oh God, it's Dio and Montez in 3 years and $48 million for an aging Grady Jarrett.
So they've totally put a lot of money into it, but have failed. Correct? Would that, if you were the judge, I'm the attorney, would that be precise? They failed in their assessment of defensive line talent.
So at edge, right, it has been Montez Sweat, Dio, Daniel Hardy was in UDFA. There's been nothing else at that point. At defensive line, it's been 3 years and 43 for Grady Jarrett and 2 years and 10 million for Neville Gallimore. So outside of the trade, which you go back, you do that trade for Montez 10 times out of 10, unfortunately, because you're not going to draft it. They have overpaid in free agency, which Ryan Poles has always told you. This is my problem with him. He always says you overpay in free agency, so you got to draft him. And then I don't draft him because we don't like the board. You've overpaid 3 guys, not drafted. And here we are. It's Phil, it's 2 free agents or 3 free agents that he has paid north of $10 million for a complete contract, and 1 that he had to trade for.
That's been, I mean, you honestly, Cars, I think maybe we should do a Cars Keys and go back to fucking 1995 and up. And the Bears have been let somebody else draft and develop a pass rusher, and we're gonna trade for them, throw gobs of money at them. Yeah, right.
Adewale Ogunleye.
Yeah.
And
They
to their
traded for
defense,
Gaines Adams,
Gaines
Julius Peppers, Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn. It's over and over and over again. But I'm sure Dio's gonna break out. He just wasn't healthy.
but
It's the same thing as Justin Fields.
That's a great point, and I think it's the one that we should probably focus on the most. We're going to talk about right now. Romer Burden is going to rewrite the wide receiver record book for us. Loveland is going to rewrite the tight end.
Christ, Axe. It was said with contempt. Calm down, bro. God damn.
If you're
Loveland is
that soft, I don't know what to tell. The reality was just explained. Is this the forum? Do you want an apology? The reality of what was just explained to you is it. You're defending Rodney going back and forth with Shane about this topic that we're discussing right now. Stop.
But anyways, Cars, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
So Loveland's going to rewrite the tight end book. Caleb's going to rewrite the quarterback book.
Yeah.
Outside of any round is the only player that we've drafted in the 2000s that has ever put up a double-digit sack season for the Bears.
Mark Anderson.
Yeah.
And then they
well, correct?
Because Alex Brown is probably the best pass rusher and best ed, and I like Alex.
Yeah.
But Alex was a 6 to 8 sack his entire career.
Yeah.
Is he the best pass rusher we have drafted in the 2000s as a Bears fan?
Yes. And that was 2002.
That is insane. It is.
But we're wrong. We're wrong. We don't know what we're talking
I don't
about.
know where Corey Wooten comes in.
And
yeah, but even Corey Wooten,
he was a second round pick,
4th round pick.
He
because
also was a 4th round.
Yeah,
pick.
he had tore his ACL
4th
and that
round.
knocked
I would have
his
lost that trivia.
That knocked his value down. But even then, Corey Wooten he was never a great fit for a Lovey scheme.
Right.
For what Lovey did, but
he was like a 3, 4, 5.
I mean, what was Corey Wooten's? I mean, the signature moment was knocking out Brett Favre, but what did he max out at? Like 4 sacks, maybe, in a season?
Oh, if that. Let me look.
It's sad that it's when you pull.
No, he got 7 sacks in 2012. 7.
Okay.
Which is for us a hit.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, look at this. We drafted Karan Riley, Alex Brown, nobody in 2003, nobody in no defensive ends in 2004, just rounds 1 through 4, nobody in 2005. Mark Anderson was a 5th round pick in 2006. Dan Bazine in 2007. Nobody in 2008. Henry Melton in 2009. Corey Wooten in 2010.
Yeah, and even Henry Melton was a fucking college running back
who became a 3 technique.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. And that's where he got paid to play 3.
So the team that prides itself on defensive history hasn't drafted a successful pass rusher. And again, I love Khalil Mack. I love Julius Peppers was fantastic. But it's been a position we have ignored for the 2000s. And if you get bored, go look at draft history. Go look at who our division rivals have drafted at defensive end and how many of them have had hits in later round picks. Daniil Hunter was not an early round pick.
3rd round pick.
3rd round, and I was begging for us to sign him.
And so now
Rosie Colvin was a 5th round pick.
Yeah, but he was also a Sam backer.
And he would come in and pass rush.
Right.
And that was smart.
And he was 1999, by the way.
Yeah.
And that was Dick Geron, right? That would put him as a pass rusher in third downs. They put him at defensive end. And that fights against dumbass Dennis Allen, who has these size limitations and weight limitations and restrictions to Dennis. Like, you gotta stop, bro. It just doesn't. Like, if Bane doesn't fit your stat, whatever chart, your measurements, then you're doing it wrong. You're absolutely doing it wrong. Like, it's amazing that cars. I was just going from the last since polls. Now you're stretching it for 26 years. 26 years.
Yeah. Bill, I brought it up on last week's show. They have been a team that is willing to let everybody else draft and develop, and then they're willing to give premium. I mean, look,
we gave up at tackles, offensive tackles for years too, with John Tate and others as well.
Yep.
So it is a consistent thing across the trenches.
You gave up Marty Booker and a third-round pick for Adewale Ogunleye. And I mean, didn't Marty Booker that was when he had like the back-to-back 100 reception years.
He was the first one. Yep.
Yeah. So you did that, and then you're getting into Julius Peppers. You gave him $92 million. Gaines Adams was a top 5 pick that underperformed in Tampa, and this was before Julius Peppers, by the way. Had he not died, are the Bears going out and signing Julius Peppers? They're not. They're going to rely on Gaines Adams becoming somebody that he never was in Tampa. And by the way, they gave up a second-round draft pick for Gaines Adams. And by the way, you had already given up your first-round draft pick that year in the Jay Cutler trade. So now you were down to not having even a pick until round 3. Gaines Adams dies, then you have no draft picks. 1, 2, or first and second round. So you have to pay Julius Peppers. It's your only option.
I think the bigger thing that I'm recognizing right
People
now.
learn on this show.
Oh yeah, I think that we're recognizing is there's a trend now with rushers that the vast majority of edge rushers are gonna be this undersized 6'2", 6'3",
100%.
outside linebacker type, and so you have to adjust to that. And it's just, you see these come in trends. You remember for the longest time when nickelbacks were coming in and they were always like 5'9", really fidgety, really twitchy. And then all of a sudden they started to get beaten up in the run game. And now my inside nickels have to start being 5'10", 6 foot and make all these plays. Defense is adjusted. You gotta adjust. You're not going to get these hulking Montez Sweat types as frequently anymore. And if you get them, what did you see mostly out of these guys, Phil, that were 6'4", 6'5"? Did they have a ton of bend? Did they have a great athletic profile? No. So you're looking for a 6'4" guy with bend. You're talking about an extreme minority of people that won't be there past round 1 and won't be there past early round 1. So you've got to make an adjustment.
And then they don't even take a shot on an undrafted free agent like the kid from Wisconsin, Rager, or my guy from Western Michigan, who I was shocked didn't get drafted, in Tucker.
Nadame
Tucker, who honestly, but to your point, Cars, he's 6'3", 6'2" and 5/8", 255 pounds, and plays with bend and power at the point, it baffles me. But yet Jerry will sit here and say, we won the North. What are you complaining about?
Well, he's saying that you won the North with scrub linebacker. Yeah, your backup linebackers, by the way, were your best linebackers.
It showed on tape.
You
watch the Pittsburgh game.
Shit, the second Edmonds came back.
Yeah, your run defense stunk as soon as Tremaine Edmonds came in. Like, DeMarco Jackson earned the contract because he was the better player. I think that's piss on Mr. Dennis Allen's face that he just ran the guy that we're paying and played the politics.
You know what? The other one, I think, but to that point, Devin Bush, when he came out, remember he was undersized or all these concerns.
Yes.
It took him a bit to figure out how to play at that size. And then we've gone through and drafted him and or signed him, and now we're expecting him to be big things. That's more the profile. We aren't getting behemoths. Most of the behemoths that you get are playing on the offensive line now. It's just kind of the way that things have shifted, where so many like guards are getting paid big money, tackles are getting paid big money. That's where the bigger bodies are going. You have to make a change.
We won the North.
Yeah, quarterback.
The
in your offensive line.
God, the offensive line and the coach and luck and a little bounce here or there, and then turnovers help you. That's football. That doesn't mean you sit and just think that shit's gonna happen again.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
If Dio Adangbo was a Green Bay Packer, Jerry would be in here laughing at the Packers for paying him.
That's a great home run.
So would Rodney.
That's PCA.
That's
hitting 2-run shot.
And when we were live on draft day saying we didn't like the process of going tight end, and people are trying to, say that they were banging the drum for Mykel Williams. Yeah, we were, because of the process. And we also admitted that we were wrong about that 100 times on these airwaves. Because again, people need to have their gotcha moment. But let's not forget, Mykel Williams was a 20-year-old rookie that got injured after 8 games. And why does that matter? Because you're also fucking defending Dio Adangbo, who got injured after 8 games.
That's why we were destroying Rodney, Axeman. So
don't say that with contempt.
I just don't even understand where you're saying. Okay, yes, I would trade for at this point.
But it's got to be
another pitcher.
To me, it's only for
your edge game.
I'm not willing to overpay for Kayvon.
No,
at all.
He's asking would I trade for him. Yeah. I'm saying yes.
Because he's going to be on he's going to be on a bigger contract too, because of his 5th-year option. And it's listen, it is what it is. But you have to swing the bat, because at that point you're asking yourself, who's better? Is it Kayvon Thibodeau or is it Jamry Chroma? Because when is Dio supposed to be back?
Nobody knows. We just know he's motivated.
Is he going to be ready for training camp? Is he going to be ready for week 1? We don't know.
What would the odds be that he's ready? Can you bet on this on Cashy? Odds he's ready for camp.
If you settle, you're throwing the season. And
I agree. You're wasting time with a rookie contract at quarterback.
These 2 years are the years that you should make a deeper playoff run and potentially a Super Bowl run.
100%. And that's, like you said, to your point, Cars. That's one of the main reasons financially that we talked about, Ryan Poles talked about, every analyst out there talked about taking advantage of the rookie contract at quarterback.
We're going to blow it.
Yeah, and you're going to be in year 3. The extension talk is going to kick off after 2026 season is over because it has to.
I don't understand it and the process of it. That's all I'll continue to say. It's baffling to me. And I think this guy, Cars, and this guy, Shane, come on here every time, drop statistical facts along with tape study with me, and then you have the perfect potpourri of football analysis, and you still have ignorance. It's just, you just want shit to be happy time, like we're on the fucking Romper Room or the Teletubbies. That's what you're living in, a world of that shit. Reality is you're wasting time. Like it's that simple. I saw Harold Fannin. I loved Fannin. He was my number one tight end. Is Fannin not a good player? He's a fucking great football player. There's several ways to build a football team. Just like Mikael Williams. I wanted Kelvin Banks with everything in my heart. I
think we all did.
Right. But there's Loveland. We didn't like the process. We liked the player. Now we have that piece. So you would think a GM worth anything would go into free agency and identify who is that guy that's going to help Booker and Montez and this defense. And they didn't do that in free agency. Okay, they're going to do it in the draft, Cars. Nope. They're got to do it at undrafteds.
You're not wrong about the process, right? The process is what leads you to draft Kyler Gordon and then follow it up with Jaquan Brisker. You know, again, I like Rome, but we had all these other holes and we ignored defense. You're going to look, that's how you draft a safety when you have all of these other holes as well. Doesn't mean that you don't necessarily like the player. You like them very much, but at some point you've had a need. You need to prioritize that need. You prioritized it last year in getting the offensive line, and it paid immediate dividends. That's why we're sitting here beating the table, because you see when you make these investments in these key positions, your turnaround comes a lot faster. It happens quicker. When you can stop the people from beating up on your quarterback and you can get to the quarterback, you win football games. Why did Philadelphia beat Kansas City? They went 3 deep, basically every position at the line. It's like, you look like you have a little bit out of breath. Here's a fresh guy. Good luck, offensive line. And us, Montez Sweat on that Philadelphia Eagle team would have been the 4th option as a pass rusher on the edge.
Well, they would have, and they never would have traded for him in the first place.
I'm just saying, if he was on that team, where he would have been, and that's our number one. It's again, we can like players, we can understand some of the positions, but you cannot. He's continually ignored the defensive line for cornerbacks, safeties, and wide receivers.
Right.
Full stop. Full stop.
Lift for pancakes, $5. Thank you for your super chat. Did you see Ben Johnson go up to the podium and just talk about how they as coaches will do better this year? I love this guy.
Well, he demanded it. He essentially called Antoine Randall out without,
and the defensive coach.
Right. And this is what I talked about with him and DA, because, and listen, Neville Gallimore, I get it.
I like him.
There is a world where the only defensive, and I'm including Montez Sweat after this season, there is a world where they are all gone, other than Shamar Turner and Vandenberg, if he works out. There's a legitimate world where all the defensive tackles on this football team are gone.
Now let's analyze that for Rick.
Austin Booker's not going anywhere. Shamar Turner's not going anywhere yet. There's a world where the Bears financially move off of Montez Sweat after 2026. Car, what is the window for that, Cars?
It is next year where you can. His cap hit is 25 million, and you only have a $4 million dead cap hit next year.
There you go.
So, I mean, it's risky, and I think it was Logan had in there. Maybe they're waiting for cuts in camp, but that, I mean, maybe you can,
You have to identify.
But listen, we thought this.
Let's sit and wait.
We
Who are
thought
they
the
gonna
same.
cut?
We thought the same thing last year, and the Bears went out. They claimed DeMarco Jackson, who we were happy with, but Jalen Jones, the corner, and there was one other one that they claimed.
Remember, if you ever want to see Shane's head pop off, it's one of my favorite ones. We had the first overall choice on any free agent.
Yeah.
We used it on defensive backs and linebackers.
Yeah.
And you could hear the explosion all the way here in Illinois. It was Shane's head just about exploded.
Yeah.
They're putting a lot of money or faith in Shamar Turner that I can't say I can jump on board with that.
It's right position, but I think they're putting a ton of money that Austin Booker is going to
100%,
take the mantle.
right.
And again, even if he takes the mantle, you need two more near that level.
100%. When Sweat's off the field, we're wondering, where is this pass rush coming from?
And
Where
sometimes
is
when
it?
he's on the field, we're like, where is this pass rush coming on from? But that's neither here nor there.
Who said that they have a lot of money tied up in Shamar Turner? Nobody said that.
He's taking my
It's just
words.
spiraling.
Yeah. Just
They're putting a lot of. I corrected myself because I said faith. I said money first. You're putting a lot of money, and Jerry, Mr. Geriatric.
but we could just pretend like second round draft pick isn't a premium pick.
Yeah. I don't know why Hardy doesn't get more opportunity. In fact, I was very critical in the playoffs that you didn't get him on the field when people were sucking wind.
Well, the final play against Green Bay was classic.
And then one of our patrons reminded
Go watch
me
Austin
about-
Booker on. Go watch Austin Booker on
against
that fucking
Brock,
play.
Watch Booker versus Brock Purdy and Tremaine Edmonds, and look at how dumb they look as like JV football players against Brock Purdy's juking the shit out of them. So pardon me if I sit back, arms folded, and say, okay, show me. That's it, because I don't see enough on tape to say this guy's taking that next level. Oh yeah, 100%. And I like Austin Booker. Just can't put all those eggs in that basket. You just can't. You got to have four. Got to have four guys that are going to go in there and give you the kind of effort that you want to see as a pass rush going against a NFL team. Now you're going to be on prime time 7-8 times this year.
Well, I think
Can't wait for BHL.
Florio
comments.
said. I think Florio said
They
7.
can't get to the passer, Jerry. Fucking A.
It's my favorite part about doing this, Phil and Shane, is everybody loves to sit down and call us out when we're wrong. And then weirdly, when they're wrong, they stop showing
Or you
up
get
in the chat.
You get dumbasses like Jerry that say that our excuse is always on tape. We're called the tape never lies, genius. Yeah, that's
And
kind of what
that's
we do.
where football is completely analyzed. It ain't in stats, Jerry.
That's why Jerry's putting out stats,
fucking
because
moron.
that's
There
what
you
Jerry
go.
looks at. That's Jerry's football intelligence is stats. It's fine. It's fine. You said 45 minutes ago that you were blocking this channel. Block us. It's fine. Guess where we'll be? Right here.
Please.
Oh my God. I've had enough of Jerry. Your effort to be funny is hilariously bad.
Well, he's It's the only way that Jerry can be relevant is to show up in comments. I mean, he's jerking himself off in the comments saying, I battle trolls and I only comment more when they disagree with me. That's what he is.
Oh my God.
Jerry doesn't watch tape.
Tape means
Jesus
nothing.
Christ.
Matters. It's only
Jerry sees a draft class and goes to his Madden rosters. It's like, oh, this guy, Shamar should have been a defensive end the whole time. Ryan Poles agrees with me. He's gonna suck my dick if I go on TTNL and talk about it.
Oh my God. But I think that's where we end this episode. Shane, we went over our deadline because this guy right here, Bears nerd, came in with a vast plethora of knowledge and information to give you guys to back up exactly what we've been battling trolls like Jerry for months, it seems.
Jerry's not even a troll. Jerry's just a dumb fuck that doesn't know football.
Don't
Not
give
even
him
a
the-
troll. He's not even troll worthy.
Jerry makes Guy Finley's look smart. Honestly.
Jerry is probably Guy Finley.
Oh boy.
There you go. I like you, Guy. Just wanted to give you some love. Where's Bullets? He should be attacking Jerry nonstop.
Bullets was
all right.
texting me.
Cars, thank you for jumping on tonight.
Always a pleasure, gents. Thanks for having me. I'm gonna go drink bleach for a little bit to forget this whole fucking thing ever happened. But it's always fun when we get to yell at people on YouTube for a few hours.
Yeah.
Well, it's an extremely interactive show called Keeping It 100, where yes, Jerry,
Interactive. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
rely on the tape for truth.
Pass rush, kind of important, but
Pass rush.
let's not talk about it.
We're not talking about the pass rush. We're talking about Shane fucking people's mothers. It's just a whole thing at each and every week.
That's right.
Well,
We'll do
love
it.
you guys. Shane, great show. A lot of statistics along with the tape, Shane. And
Yeah.
it was impressive here. Is this something that you're showing here, this picture, or someone uploaded this? Is that PCA, the home run guy?
That's Modest Bazelis PCA
Who's
and
Modest Bazelis?
A bull.
Oh, he's
Bulls.
okay.
Yep,
So the
yep.
three kings of Chicago right there, right now.
Yeah.
Pretty
Nice.
much.
I think it's them and Bedard all hang
Bedard
out.
is the hockey player.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't load it
Wow,
up.
all four of these dudes hang out together. Where's the poster like back in the day?
Well, Dio would have been in that picture, but he's in rehab. Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Everything that guy just says bullshit.
Perfect.
We'll
You know
see
who else
guys.
doesn't like defense?